watched YouTube link. There we go. It's streaming. All right. Welcome everybody. On the table, you see I've got some printouts of the agenda. This is the online vote that we did about the bus advocacy letter. I didn't think I needed to print out every single one of it, so that's separate. I'll just print out one of all. Anita is looking at the printout of last month's meeting notes. Do you want to review them? And that's today. Oh, okay. Yeah. Is this today? Oh, it's today. Oh, did it? Oh, it's supposed to be November. Then a first edit. Oh, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I believe that's the correct agenda. Nettie, would you like a link to the agenda? I'll put it in this. I can't hear you, you're muted, but are you saying?
You sending it to me in an email or you're sending it to me here?
Does it work for you in the chat? I just put it in.
Chat's good. Chat is good. Yeah.
Great. Okay, cool. All right, everybody. So welcome to the, despite what this says, the November Live Walk Kingston meeting. And I don't know if we need to do a round of introductions. I don't see anybody who's visiting us today. I think we all have them each other by now. Let's give me a wave if everybody wants a round of introductions. Okay, nobody did. We have a next amount of stuff on the agenda, but I think we'll go through it fairly quickly. My first update is you'll see that Christine stepped off. Hey, come on in. She emailed something has come up, so we're down a commissioner already. How it goes. People can really come up. I told her if she ever had an opportunity to join us again, that she would be welcome to come on back. Next up on the agenda is I have the October meeting notes. If there's no edits, I could hear a motion to approve them.
A motion to approve.
I heard Anthony first. I need a second. Thank you, Anita. And I'll say all in favor of approving the October meeting notes. Say aye. Give me a thumbs up.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Thumbs up, Anita. Nettie, thank you so much. Motion passes. Thank you. All right. So, on to administrative matters. You'll see we had no letters of support this month, but we did have that letter of advocacy, which I've got that one printout on the table there. Nothing, no actions there. We just want to point that out to y'all. Let me know if you have any questions about it.
Thanks.
If not, we can keep moving along to old business. Old business, just had a few little follow-ups about our strategic reflection that we've been working on. And that means even though I was not quite settled yet, got a pop quiz for you all. Da-da-da. Now, this is just meant to be fun. My thought is that you can take these and write in your thoughts. I know. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Did I no? And I'll give you the one now.
No, these.
Okay, great.
I don't know if there was
There was one other document that we'll roll up in a second. Anyway, okay, and Nettie, I'm gonna bring it up on screen to show you. So my thought is if we could just take a few moments, if you could fill it out. My hope here is that if you were stuck in an elevator with someone and they said, Kingston, what's that? I would say, what are the 5 goals for Live Well? And what would you say? And they said, oh, what is the vision? Or like, what's the long-term thing you want to see happen? I want to see what you think it is. And then the last one is just hopefully a fun one. Name, and hopefully you can't see it anywhere. Okay. Okay, so I gave you. Okay.
I answered it first. I was so happy.
Good. Any questions? Well, you're all so studious. You're already working on your answers. I love it.
Emily,
Yes.
I'll be right back. My delivery guy's here. I'll be
course.
back.
Of
Okay,
course.
thanks.
You just like one little bit. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get your word.
Can I greet our neighbors?
Oh my gosh. No, never agree with papers.
Greet our neighbors?
Greet our neighbors.
Oh,
Oh, no.
It's like a grade school.
The power of being a teacher right now is great. For a second. Okay. So my hope is that we could share what it is, and then I have it in on the slides here, and then we can find out what it is together. Anyone want to share what are the what are the 5 new goals? Maybe can that even a little bit? Not even a little bit? No. Not even a little bit. Anything, I even know one. What's one of them?
Mine's just one of them?
Yeah, give me one.
Access to nutrition.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I had that one.
Yeah, that's good. You know what I mean?
Being great. I have active transportation.
Cool.
Okay.
Great.
And accessible green spaces.
Fabulous. Okay, we're doing great.
Like social engagement opportunities for older.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so we had eat well, play well, grow well. So I guess gardens and green space, and then the cross-cutting age well to do all of those things into your elder years.
Yeah.
And then is there something around like capacity building in there too?
So for the goals, our goals are really simple.
Okay.
So increase.
Information.
So all of them.
I put communication.
Yep. Communications. Yep. Nourishing foods. Yep. Community gardens. Yep. Parks, public spaces. Thank you. Safe active transportation. Information about healthy opportunities. Those are our goals. We did it. Good job, guys. We did it.
So don't to our heads enough on us. It was like in my subconscious.
And the goal, again, wasn't that you know every word. It's just that like when you go out into the community and someone's like, what is live on work? And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you have an answer, right? All right, so what about the vision? What do we want to see our city look like? Okay, Sam, I know you got something.
No, I was embarrassed. I said just like similar to the above,
Yeah.
but more of it in 5 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Sweet, I like that.
I think we had to, like, it's about increasing access to, and giving people the opportunities to engage in like community gardens or getting nutritious food or, you know, parks. Like, it's about increasing access. And that's just what I remember.
Yeah, it's almost exactly the same.
I wrote a healthier community because I didn't want to write city because I was pretty sure that that wasn't there. But now that I read it, it says envisions a city where what 35 years.
Yeah. So, you know, the vision is like what we want to see happen, and the goals are like how we're gonna get there. So I inversed it a little bit, just because I thought actually the goals would be a little bit easier in my mind, and then the vision would be a little bit harder. So, you know, everyone has access, but it's the same thing. Local and nurturing foods,
Yeah.
safe access to transportation, welcoming public spaces, and there's the community connections, where it's not quite as explicit as the goals, but very similar. Okay, and icon, I hope you all got an icon.
Yeah, so like,
Soccer ball.
Soccer ball,
I have a little,
apple,
I have a little plant.
little plant and the growth of the. Nice. Yay, thank you, everyone. That's it. That's the exercise. So I feel like now I can record in my communications campaign that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 commissioners 100% know the vision and goals.
okay, you already achieved it.
Already achieved.
Good.
Along with that, I can say that we have posted twice on social media about our new mission and vision. I handed these out to the Common Council on Monday. These are the front page. Those of you who looked at my communications campaign saw the front page of that. The back of it is the one that I've been handing out whenever we've done tabling this year at farmers market and festivals. I mean, the back one is the one with more with all the images. The front one is the new mission vision. So a lot of, I think it was like 6 of the common council or altar people were there, and 2 ones that are coming on to the council next year were there. So it was really a great opportunity to get this in their hands. I don't know if they looked at it, but got it to them. So happy to update on that. And then now that we have sort of some new mission, vision, and goals, when you all came on to the commission, hopefully I sent you the rules of procedure, which is just sort of our mission and guidance document. Another next step for this is to incorporate it into that document. I don't mind reading that, but I probably will send it out to you all at some point to review, and we should probably go through the process of officially voting and approving that, because it is a guidance document for the commission. So just putting it on your radar that that's to come. Any questions about the strategic reflection work? Otherwise, we can move on to some new business.
For the rules of procedure.
Yeah.
I thought it was written somewhere that we do use Robert's Rules of Order. Is that?
I thought that we did.
I'm looking through the
Yeah.
link to it and I can't. It says, but
Millions construction rules procedure. I thought it was at the end somewhere. And I thought it was a line that said like, we'll use Robert rules as the baseline. You know, Anthony, why don't I'll look for it and I'll get back to you about that, because I don't see it immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, and if not, this would be the opportunity to add it. If we're amending the rules of procedure, for other things, might as well update it. There might be some other things we find in there that are a little bit outdated as well. Might want to review that. Alrighty. I'm not hearing any other questions right now. Next on the agenda, I put together, sort of actually in those documents, did anyone get a page looks like this in their pilot documents? Yeah. Well, page of the. Injected it here, yeah.
Oh, this sorry.
Oh, yeah, there it goes, thank you, okay, great, okay, so, I thought, since we just went through that process, sort of reviewing our goals and mission, then it might be good now to check back in sort of with what's happening in the focus teams, this whole sort of like meanwhile, what's been happening, going on, and then also as sort of a draft, again, one of my goals was to have some kind of, a dashboard or a show of data of what we've accomplished on the website. So in order to do that, we have to sort of collect and start a little bit of a report. Also, it's like end of the year reporting season. I have to submit to the mayor for my department an annual report, which is basically just a bulleted list of accomplishments. So might as well start doing that at the same time. So I put this together. I thought I would sort of go through it a little bit with you all. Unless anybody has any other questions or thoughts, I can jump in. You want me to talk through it, or anybody have any questions before I just start kind of talking through it a little bit? Yeah, okay, great.
It's good.
All right, so starting, of course, with the commission, Anita, brought us through a review of the, health data this year, which was a really great accomplishment. We did, see if I can even bring it up. We went through a whole presentation where we looked at all the different data sources. I'll come up here. I'm not gonna go through all of them again, but we looked at different data points that we've looked at in the past. My hope is that we would do this again next year. So that was a good accomplishment, the commission did. As we just mentioned, I think doing a strategic reflection, updating the mission, vision, and goals is a huge accomplishment. Y'all did 10 letters of support and advocacy. That's fabulous. And then over the summer, I presented to you a communications report that showed more activity than I think we all realized that we had been doing. So I would like to do this again. I would love to get into a routine where I do this quarterly, but right now, so far, sort of been doing it annually. So that's pretty great. Oh, switching between documents here. There it is. Also, I don't know, maybe when we're done talking here, we created this document, which was a list of sort of like wishes that we'd like to do as a commission. I'm not going to click on that quite yet. Maybe after this conversation will come. So that sort of to me could be maybe in the next couple of months, we start talking about what we'd like to do next. What are the projects we'd like to start checking off our list? Usually we have about 9 attendees. We've had, in total, that's 70 attendees over the course of the year. Current officers are Katrina and Kyle is our secretary, and all know when we meet. For Age Well, as you've probably heard me mention a few times, we had that one project, which was recruiting volunteers for the Neighbor to Neighbor program. Between Nettie and Anthony and Arlene, they all went to 15 events to recruit volunteers. That was fantastic. Thank you, Nettie, for all of that work that you've been doing. I know you've been to every picnic, every senior prom. I see you unmuted. Did you want to?
That's true. Yes, I have. It was good though. And I think we've gotten a few, but I know we've gotten new drivers. And so we weren't sure what our numbers would be, but it looks like it's maybe 5 or 6, which I think 5 or 6 was very much needed.
I agree.
I should rephrase that. 5 or 6 have applied. Of course, they'll have to go through the clearance, but it was made pretty clear when we spoke to them. We let them know, they'll do a background check. They'll make sure, you're a safe driver, blah, blah, blah. So I feel pretty confident we'll get most or all of them.
Definitely. Yep. Thank you. In our last Age Well meeting, we reviewed the mission, vision, and goals. And we decided that the next work that they thought would be appropriate would be to do some information gathering. So sort of step back a little bit and do some assessment. And they want to sort of answer the question of what organizations are offering programming for older adults. And, we know pretty well what Office for the Aging is doing. But as we talked about, the library offers a lot of resources, a lot of other organizations do, and with a specific attention to the digital divide. So I know that the library does some device training, and I think some other organizations do, but it's sort of the things you see that you're like, oh, that would be good to remember, and then a month passes and I can't remember which organization it was that does it. So our thought is we're going to try to collect some of that information. So that's sort of HWell's next project to work on. We met 5 times, 6 regular attendees for a total of 30. Nettie and I have talked to Lori Barrios, who might be interested in being chair for HWell and being commissioner. She is very gracious and I think would rather someone else stepped up, but will answer the call if we need it. Do you think that's a fair way of saying it?
Yeah,
Nettie?
and she's great. I think, she has resisted for
Yes.
2 years for any
Yes.
sort of formal role, but I think you wore her down finally, Emily. And I'm glad because I think she's going to be great.
Yeah,
She's very connected to this community. She has no trouble speaking up. I think she'll be great.
Yeah. And so I need to follow up. My next steps is I need to follow up with her. That's meeting every other month on Tuesdays. That's Age Well. Eat Well had a lot of accomplishments. That's in a great part due to Kristen being on our team. And now that she has stepped away, I'm a little worried about how much of this we can actually continue, but let's go through it and we can always brainstorm at different times. So Kingston Eats is the Harvest of the Month project where she and Nanette from Cornell Cooperative has made these beautiful posters that are up in different establishments. It also includes some social media posts, and she used to send out some emails for it. The most difficult barrier here is the distribution of the posters. I try to carry them around with me, and when I go places, I drop them off. But bringing them to all the different restaurants, other places, I just do not have the time. So that's the barrier for that project. So I'm always looking to brainstorm it. Kingston Cooks is the cooking workshops that happen at the Midtown Neighborhood Center. We've hosted 6 of them this year. That's been
It's
wonderful.
gonna host one for our residents.
Yes, that's coming
In
up.
like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Kristen said she's coming back for a few key projects. She's coming back for that one. She's
Yeah.
coming back for our food systems plan public meeting, and I'll talk about it in a moment. But looking into next year, I don't know that we'll have the capacity to run them. Maybe we could try to find a partner. We've heard from the Crop Shop and Milestone Mill, which is an organization that is spun out of the Farm Hub that is doing some food processing, that they're sort of interested in supporting some cooking classes. So we're meeting with them next week. Maybe we can find a partner that we can collaborate on to continue it on. So don't want to be too negative about it. Hopefully they can continue. We Eat Well, does it say how many times we met? We Eat Well met 5 times, and 3 of those meetings had kind of, I would say, formal presentations. Someone was invited. We recorded the presentation. It's up on the website. So that's a nice accomplishment. Under food policy, Kristen sent out 2 food policy bite newsletters. So that was explaining how food policy works, or where the systems change could happen. She had 3 subcommittee meetings that talked about food policy. And then the commission, so it's kind of being recorded in both places, but sent 2 advocacy letters. One was supporting SNAP when that was reduced. And then maybe not because of that letter, but I'm sure the letter helped the Common Council agree with you to also pass a resolution in support of SNAP funding. Then we did I forget what FRAP stands for, food access something. That was a letter in support of women and children supports that happen at the county level. Also, there were some social media posts that were done as part of food policy work. Eat Well has an active listserv, so an email sort of like communication. The Cornell Cooperative Extension owns that. So we tell Nanette. Nanette is the one that adds people to and from it, and people can sort of email one email and everyone gets that communication. It's a little clunky, but it works okay. And then I'm very happy, I did send you, hopefully you all got an email just before the meeting. We are very happy to say that we're gonna have the final draft plan public meeting December 3rd for the food systems plan. This is a project that Kristen's been working on for about 2 years. I think that it may help inform some of the work that Eat Well could do in future years. And that'll be after the public meeting, we'll have a 30-day open comment session, so people can submit their comments on the plan for 30 days. Any edits that come in, I'll probably be making to them, and then we'll have a final plan. So that's a great project that we'll hopefully be finishing up. Small but lovely accomplishment was that Grow Well and Eat Well had a joint meeting this year, and that was fun. That was at the YMCA Farm Project, and so we sort of got to combine people from both groups. Kristen, before she left, started a resource hub for Eat Well. It's a series of, I would say mostly documents, but the idea is that in the listserv or in our meetings, many people will have different resources that come up. And her idea was to have them in a document that people could go back and access at any time. This is wonderful. It's got lots of great information there. It's going to be hard to keep up with that. Sure. But we've got it now. So, maybe if we get, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but I can also share that I'll be having an intern this spring who's interested in food systems. So at least for this spring, maybe they can do some updates, and that's sort of how it goes, different capacities kind of come and go. Right. Back where was I? So there was 5 Eat Well meetings. It averaged about 12 attendees per meeting with a total of 37. I did float the idea to Kristen that maybe she could now come back as a commissioner. I'm always trying. And my best argument is the county, Stacy Kraft in particular, helped start Live Well. I would like to always have a connection with the Ulster County Health Department. And she, of course, is she's the director of community health. So hopefully she'll take us up on that offer. Well, she said, she's in the thick of just trying to get the new position going. So maybe in the new year, I'll try to bring her on. And Eat Well currently meets on second Tuesdays every other month. Moving on to Grow Well. Grow Well hosted our 3rd annual garden tour. Like I mentioned, we hosted that Eat Well, Grow Well meeting. And also that one of those cooking workshops was in collaboration with Grow Well. So one of the cooking workshops, the person brought a pizza oven to Barman Park Garden, and the whole theme of the cooking workshop was tomatoes. For Grow Well, for the first time, we set all of our meetings for the growing season and created a flyer that we put up in message boards on the Green Line and handed those out. So it was an attempt to try to have people come and join us in person at the gardens over the course of the year. As Grow Well, we tabled at the Earth Fair, and Cindy, I think last Friday, tabled at the George Washington Elementary Farm Day event. We purchased and delivered compost for 4 of the gardens. Thanks to Anthony, Grow Well, quote unquote, or Anthony fixed the fence at South Pine Street Farm this year. Cindy conducted a seedling workshop at the library.
Did Grow Well, have any contributions to the new compost program around town too? The phase 2 of community compost?
Are you asking is Grow Well?
Yeah. Should that be on that list that we have
So
citywide compost coming soon, which is pretty awesome.
you bring up a great question.
Sorry, we can table that.
No. I mean, I'd love to try to answer it. Sometimes it's really hard for me to figure out what Grower or Live Well can kind of claim as our work.
Sure.
That is Julie Noble. She deserves all of the credit for that fantastic work. She worked so hard. But there could be collaboration that happens with Growware where a few of the organic drop-off spots are at the gardens.
Oh, nice.
So it's already sort of a natural collaboration in that way.
Yeah.
But it's not an accomplishment of Live Well, but it is great work that's happening. And so I think there are some communications conversations we could have about how do we uplift other organizations' work that is in line with ours.
Mm.
But for this right now, it's really about anything that I think like we've talked about in our meeting.
Yeah, so you can draw a straight line.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Same.
So that thing that, with the trees at the roundabout garden, we just did that Saturday,
Yeah,
like that, like, all those trees, you can probably throw that on there.
yeah, thank you for that. So, one of the gardeners at Roundup Garden and you and did Cindy help also? Went down to Roundup Garden and removed a bunch of the invasive trees. Did you guys use the vinegar stuff? Or did you just cut stuff down?
We cut it so she could access it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be that way.
Nice.
Yesterday, I think, it's all stuck in.
Well, the garden was getting a little bit out of control. It's invasive plants.
Yeah.
My naivete, I thought we could just like cut some of the invasives. We just spread it more. So,
Like the tree of lies, the tree.
Have it.
Yeah, you really have to, if you cut it, apparently if you actually cut it, it will spread. more.
Yeah.
yes,
So it's like this perfect monster fight.
totally.
So,
The good news that's technically not in Live Well, but it's part of the city of Kingston. The city of Kingston is applying for an invasive plant removal grant.
Nice.
I hope we'll get it. The urban forester is leading that application, which makes a lot of sense. So I'll keep you updated if we get that. But there might be some natural collaborations that could happen if the city gets that grant. Okay, so Grow Well met 19 times. We usually have around 4 attendees. 113 total. Cindy is our tried and true chair. She's been with us from the beginning. Currently, during the growing season, we met twice a month, which was a lot. And now in the winter, we're just meeting the first Mondays of the month via Zoom. We'll probably in the spring reset times when it's good for everyone who joins us. For Playwell, early in the year, the organization called Trust Up made a list of physical activities. These are some really smart coders. And the next one, they created the third one down, they created a virtual app that's like if anyone knows, shows my age a little bit, how I explain it. If you know Pokemon, it's like in the real world, but it's a virtual game.
Mm-hmm.
I think they made something like that where you're like in a space, you use your phone, you see other information. So and that's called the Alternatives. I've heard that it's been posted. I haven't had a chance to play with it. Have you played with it? So at one point they were going to show
Like
it
the
with you.
kiosks?
No, with the app.
No.
No, not yet, right? So anyway, that's coming. All that to say, Trust Up are these smart folks that are working in new technology. They created a list of physical activities that we can put on our website. It's still a work in progress.
They're working with Playwell on this?
Yes, so Rob works on these really interesting projects around town and has been coming to Playwell. And when I identified that like one of our goals is to get out more communications about physical activity opportunities, he said, well, we can do that as a part of the kiosks and as a part of their apps. It's a very specific interface, so it's not just, I was kind of hoping we would just have a list that might be automatically updated. This is more complicated than that, but it may be useful. Like it's just a different solution than I thought it was going to be. So it's a little bit still in progress about how we're going to incorporate that into the website or what's the best way to make use of that. So more to come on that. Under Playwell, I put our building of the post office park. So there's some new park space in the city of Kingston. And then soon after we opened that, the urban forester, I supported him hosting a tree tour at Post Office Park.
Is the urban forester a city position?
It is.
So cool.
It's newer.
Yeah.
I think maybe he's been with us about a year. It's grant funded. And Brent we're so lucky to have.
What's his name?
Brent Nepler, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He, you know, sort of like Cindy or other folks that are, he can't not talk about trees, you know, it's just, you know,
So cool.
yeah, it's really wonderful, yeah.
And what grant supports it?
I don't know that off the top of my head. I think it's a federal grant. Some of the funding was a little shaky at times,
Yeah.
but I think it's consistent right now. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I went to a kind of a tour of Cornell Park down in the Rondo. And trees and Cornell Park, and it was like amazing. We probably went around for like almost 2 hours. And it was like, it's just like, yeah, it's a great example of you walk through the natural environment and all these trees are here and you don't really know what you're walking through, but he knows like everything about. So it was really amazing his expertise in trees. So if you ever had any questions on tree, there's also this program where you can get trees planted if you are like adjacent to if your house abuts a road and you have like that little area of grass and you'd like to plant a tree, because technically that's owned by the city. You could petition to get and it's free. You get a petition to get a tree planted. So,
cool.
yeah, it's a cool program. And you just, you fill out a form. I filled it out for my house and it's too late in the season, but we could get a couple trees planted. Because I was actually looking back at old pictures and there used to be like a lot of trees around our house, but they were.
Right. And we got one on our
Yeah,
property.
you did? Okay.
They came, installed it, and
Nice.
now we have a beautiful, I mean,
Yeah.
they did it, you know, Brent did it all. That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many benefits of having trees in your neighborhood.
Do you get any kind of choice of tree?
Oh,
I think it's like a negotiation.
yeah.
That's what he's told.
Yeah.
I mean, because there are like, he wants to obviously pick trees that are,
Yes.
you know, non-invasive, that are
Appropriate.
native. But it's interesting now with like climate change, what was considered native 10 years ago may not actually be necessarily the most appropriate tree
Wow.
to be like resilient for
Yeah.
many years, given climate change. It's really interesting. He was talking about like, I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of and I just like now that I look up, I see this all the time. A lot of the hemlock trees are not doing that well. And it's because like a lot of like hemlocks are just not great in this environment anymore. So because of that, that's like directly related to temperature rise.
Is that one of the blooming trees?
Sorry.
Is that like a blooming tree?
Like pine trees.
Okay.
Some like types of pine trees, like a hemlock, like Christmas tree looking trees are like a little thin, and he says that's like a lot of that's temperature related, well, and drought related.
I guess it's more like a bush, but like the
Yeah.
lilacs have been like blooming in the fall for a second time, and then they don't have like the energy to do it the way they did. So they're
Yeah.
it's just not
No, there's a lot of
going
impacts.
great.
So true.
Yeah, but it's a really interesting position. I don't know if it's like that common in other cities. I wanted to ask in that. if he
Yeah.
knows, or anyone else.
And I think the grant that we got, right, was a municipal grant. It was to do that type of work. So I think the other municipalities get, but I don't know how competitive it was. I don't know those details. But I think we are lucky to have him. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So when we've been talking about strategic reflection for Playwell, we talked a little bit about how there is overlap with the Recreation Commission. And we reach out to them to connect to hear, but then we decided, well, if Livewell Kingston is going through this reflection, why don't we wait? And now that we have a better idea of what Playwell's mission is, now we want to present to the commission. So that's still on our to-do list. I'll probably put that together. And I think some folks in Playwell will join me. Maybe Anthony, you offer to come with me or call. We'll figure that out. So that's a to-do. Then also, which is really convenient, both for Playwell and there was a project over the last year or so called Nature Everywhere. They identified in their goals to do an assessment of nature connection in parks in the city of Kingston. We said, that's our jam. So we're going to basically run that for them. They did not get funding to continue their project, unfortunately, but we can continue their goals of some of their work. So that's our next, probably our next project for Playwell is to in our next meeting, we're gonna look at some assessment tools and sort of decide how we're gonna make those decisions. Or how to make that assessment, and then we'll go through and do the assessment and see what are the nature connections in our books.
Is this, I just got a survey about, I think it's, a survey for families. Is this the same thing? Connecting to nature in Kingston, a survey for families? That's from Nature Everywhere Kingston, and it says Nature Everywhere Kingston is part of a national initiative.
But you
We're
just
working-
got to. I thought that like that.
I was sent it in like a neighborhood chat, so I don't know how old the survey is. It's a 5-minute survey about we're working out all Kingston youth. Nature. First step is to listen to our community to learn more about where you and your children experience nature, what you like to do, what keeps you from being in nature.
I mean that's
Sure.
I'm sure you're talking about the Nature Everywhere survey.
Nature, it says nature working.
But my understanding was that like the survey closed like months ago.
Okay, this might be.
So Wild Earth is the umbrella organization for that work. It's possible that Wild Earth there's a new chapter that I'm not aware of. So
Okay.
I'm sure what you're describing is the same program, Nature Everywhere Kingston, but I didn't know this term, so this is new information.
Share it with you if you're
Yeah,
interested.
cool.
I'll just put it in the Google Doc. Is that
Awesome,
okay?
thank you.
Okay.
Post
Yes,
office
please.
park, like, has one of those kiosks.
It does.
Does we not, there's no power still?
Right, we do not have electricity. And we basically spend all of our money. So we have the ability to put in electricity to the kiosk at some point in the future, but it was very expensive to put in the electric. But while we were doing that, at that moment, the city actually didn't have an electrician, and now I believe that position has been filled. So I'm gonna reach back out to DPW and see if the electrician can help us out with that. So to be continued. I was also thinking about asking Rob if there was solar panels that we could put on that. I think that he has offered that for other kiosks and other locations, so working on it. You know,
Cause I think that would probably be, I mean, I know they do the Kings thing there every Saturday. I think that would be like the only thing that I could think of that like might use they haven't at the other place either.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, why else would you need electricity there if not for that?
Or, yeah.
Like,
or our thought was that space could be used for things like a food truck. So that those parking spots they're dipped in was very intentional. The thought was like a food truck could come in. They usually have their own generators, but if they plugged in, it's a lot quieter. Or Radio Kingston loves doing PA events. Like our hope was that sort of back side of the park that's mostly open could be used for different events, a little pop-up farmers market or YMCA wanted to do programming in that space. They needed they needed amplification. So our hope is that whenever we do put in electricity, it does have capability to be plugged into.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's huge for people who just like might need a charger out in their day or like whatever
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
that might not have access to indoor power. That's a great one.
They have that at the Radio Kingston Park. Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
What am I missing? Okay, so we met 7 times. We'll have an 8th one in December. We usually have about 6 attendees, so that's a total of 43. We have no official chair right now. I talked to Kaylin, who's one of the attendees. She seemed interested, so I'll kind of feel her out a little bit. She's got a little one. I'm not sure if she's still interested. I'll check.
she works with or for Trust Up.
She does, and maybe not full time though. So I'm not sure of her availability. Yeah. So travel well, so the issue that I sort of have about identifying what does Live Well work, what does the health department work. This is basically a lot of the work that I sort of do, but you'll see sort of at the bottom is like we have no current standing meeting. There isn't really a committee. So let me go through it and, we can always sort of brainstorm a little bit, but we met once in 2025, 9 people attended. And for the most part, that meeting was me just telling everybody about all the projects we've done. So sometimes that's great to have meetings where people report on what's happening. It didn't feel active and I'm sort of struggling with that a little bit. But here's
I'm sorry. Could you speak to like, because I try to, I think I went to the one meeting that you had.
Yeah.
And I sometimes visit the Safe Streets.
Complete streets.
What's it?
Complete Streets.
Yeah, I would say that wrong. Advisory Council, and I'm wondering like what your vision is for how those two groups, I mean, certainly they are different, but like how to move forward with travel well when that work is also happening, if that makes sense.
No, that's part of the stickiness, that's part of the confusion. So in the past, Travel Well brought together 3 organizations to sort of coordinate them, and that was Complete Streets, Bike Friendly Kingston, and the Kingston Green Line.
Oh, okay.
Bike Friendly Kingston is pretty dormant.
Okay.
When Livable Kingston started, I was leading Bike Friendly Kingston, and that was how I was brought into this work. I'm the staff liaison for Complete Streets, and I co-lead the Green Line Leadership Committee with Kristen Wilson at the county. So it doesn't, I'm not sure if Travel Well should still be that. So that's part of, I don't have a great answer for you because I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah,
myself,
that
so.
makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Here's some of the things that I consider Travel Well, Live Well, the Department of Health and Wellness accomplishments. So I supported Phil in the Parks and Rec Department to lead Thursday evening rides. I think they were basically every other week during the season. So that's a bicycle encouragement program. We did a bicycle and pedestrian count. That was at 4 locations with 10 volunteers, 14 different shifts. We are developing a Green Line stewardship program. So the city of Kingston went through sort of a selection process where we selected the Walker Valley Land Trust. They got a grant from Novo to develop a trail steward program. We've met 8 times to discuss that. That's moving along. We created a request for proposals for our sidewalk improvement plan. That's been published. Those proposals are due in December. Our hope is that we would select a consultant to help us come up with a plan for how to fund sidewalk improvements.
Mhm.
That's the sticky point, is how to pay for it.
Yeah.
You can always talk about any of these deeper if you want. We created a clean mobility plan, which is for a rentable bike system in the city of Kingston. I think most of you have heard me talk about that. We took that plan and applied for a NYSERDA grant. I'm still so optimistic that we're going to get this grant. Cross your fingers for me. I really want this project. Hopefully we would hear about that in early 2026. If we got that grant, it would be for multiple years, and my department would be a transit operator, which kind of scares me a little bit. So, but more to come. As I mentioned, I'm the staff liaison for Complete Streets. Complete Streets met 11 times. We're going to meet once more in December. But as I mentioned, I go facilitate the Green Line leadership meetings. As part of our Creating Healthy Schools and Communities project, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you all, we're creating what I'm calling a traffic park. So there's an unused parking lot at Forsyth Park between the tennis courts and the playground. And we have painted a mini streetscape on it.
Oh, fine.
It's not complete yet. We've got basically the white lines down. The DPW needs to come back and do the yellow lines. I'm creating these stencils for stop signs, yield, handicap sign arrows. And hopefully in the spring, we would put those stencils down, have a paint party, invite families to come. I do the outlines, kids in with the brushes to help us paint it in. When it's done, the idea is that anyone at any time could come and practice how to safely use a streetscape in a very controlled space. People of all ages, but probably mostly kids. And then long-term vision would be if we could find funding to hire the YMCA bike program to teach bicycle education at the schools, especially Bailey, who's right up the hill, and Edson, and bring those kids down during their gym class and learn bike safety skills.
That's so cool.
That's the long-term vision. First, we got to get the yellow paint down. Working on it. That's the challenge.
How about I saw a letter, yes, maybe it was Friday from the mayor about the Puckthall improvements
Yes.
and connecting that. Was that travel well or?
So again, I can't take any credit for that.
Okay.
So that's really engineering. So the engineering
Got it.
department has been working on a streetscape improvement project for Foxhall and Flatbush. Multi-year project. At one point, we thought we had lost funding for it. I think we've got some funding back for it. I think it's federally funded. I think that public meeting, I think is coming up. I think it's December 9th.
Okay,
Please come to it. I think they're gonna show sort of the final plans for it. And I believe it's still, construction isn't gonna start until like 2027, 2028.
okay, got it. So there might be some opportunities.
Yeah, yeah,
to support that some way. Yeah,
and that's a great thing that you're bringing up is like, I support those type of projects in many informal ways.
right.
I'm often on the project advisory committee. I get sent sometimes the final design files and can give input. So there's other ways that the Department of Health and Wellness is absolutely supporting this, but we're not really claiming credit for it. I don't know. That's really that.
Very humble.
You know, there's a lot. There's enough work for everybody. I'll just, then our last one that I consider travel well is our bicycle rack program. So in 2023, we got a bunch of bike racks as part of the CHIS grant. Phil has now just created a report on it. We installed 15 racks in 2025, so that's a total of 38 bicycle racks since 2023. So that's basically it. So that's a recap of all of the focus teams. Any other questions coming up for you?
What are those racks at the school, the George Washington School?
It's possible that Nina was also able to get bicycle racks through the CHIS grant, but I think that it was not the racks that the city bought.
Okay.
Yeah. Great question.
Those get used.
Awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
it's super impressive how many kids park their bikes and go to school. Like,
Yeah.
Is there any relation, I guess two questions, is there any relationship between travel, similar to your question, and the linear park kind of design work that I know there was a recent, I think they did like the last of the public meetings on that, right? So then,
So informally, so Kristen Wilson at the county is the county project manager for that. Kristen Wilson and I are the co-leaders of the Green Line Committee. I worked with Kristen she used to work for the city of Kingston.
oh, okay.
So my role there, I'm on the project advisory committee. My role there is the support as, I feel like I'm like the Green Line champion. And so I'm always like, don't forget, it's the Green Line. It's not just one park. It's not just linear park. It's this whole system we're trying to something like that sort of thing.
Yeah. And are you still trying to get the money for, or are you still trying to get funding for that like Wayfinder?
Yes.
Street, like to mark the Green Line trails more so people know, have maps on the kiosks, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's still like, okay.
So we have that plan and, that creating healthy schools and communities grant that I keep talking about, that is ending May 31st.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna have some money that I have to spend down. I'm just gonna meet actually with engineering next week. So I have this beautiful plan, but I don't know how to get from that plan to the bid documents and how to get it constructed. So I need engineering's help with that. So we're gonna meet next week and sort of discuss.
Oh.
And maybe it won't be all of it. Maybe it's just like a few signs, you know, that's my thought. So at this point, I'm like, okay, what can we spend by May 31st?
So one other question was just like, with the ending of the CHIS grant, is there anything that, I think I already asked, but just like, is there anything you think is gonna be like, that we're not gonna be able to continue because, as part of Live Well because of that?
Yeah. Well,
Is that,
mostly
it's
it's
like Kristen's
email.
role, so that's
Yeah.
obviously a lot of
So,
what she was doing, which is.
and there was this weird balance where, CHIS, because of the, it was sort of some federal funding through the state, it had some restrictions about what it couldn't pay for. And the stuff it couldn't pay for, we got Live Well to pay for. And that was basically the cooking classes and the Kingston Eat stuff. So it was actually this really nice two grant sources that complemented each other, because CHIS was very strict in what it could do and Live Well was really flexible. And but the end goals were both the same, is relativity and nutrition for our community. So yeah, it's mostly like the cooking workshops I can make the posters for Kingston Eats, that's not the problem, you know? But the cooking workshops are probably the first ones that's gonna go. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah, I was thinking also that maybe that's a slight segue to what you're gonna be talking about with grants, thinking about like what are some of the gaps that might have come up and with the GIS grant ending. I guess the main gap is really the Kristen's time, right?
Yeah, it's
Staffing
capacity.
that's that you lost.
Absolutely.
That-
I'm gonna just, I can't even see what my tabs are. There's so many, let's go through these things here. Okay. With me, six.
Yeah,
District,
yeah, I think it's by ward.
but
Oh,
right,
okay.
Is that by ward?
it's super interesting.
I'm just saying how like different. So
Guys, want me to try?
there was a graphic. I'm not sure.
Geospatial data.
Yeah.
It's always good.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that. Suspect, okay. So, yeah, thank you all. So that was sort of just a review of sort of like where the Live Well focus teams are at.
Thank you. That was really helpful.
Yeah, and
That was great, a lot of work, huh?
yeah, there's a lot of work, and I guess my question back to you all is maybe helping me thinking through how to report it. So I can go back in and try to flesh it out more. But my thought is maybe when I do another draft of this, maybe I can send this to you all and you can all help me think through what's the best way, what's the best format for getting that information.
You're reporting this to the Common Council?
This would be a report that we would put on the Live Well Kingston website. Might inform how some of the design of the web is like. Again, I've always had this vision of this dashboard of like 150 meetings in a little, do that, so this might help inform how some of that data that shows up on the website. It would then also, part of it, I would distill it down, and it would be part of my annual report to the mayor. And he publishes an annual report for all of the departments every December or January.
Yeah, that seems great. Yeah, it'd be great. We could all probably help out with that.
Feedback, you're good.
Yeah, because that seems like it would be a really helpful asset to then be able to like cut from for some fundraising things or for common council report out or mayor report out. So I'm sure I know that's what you're already thinking, but I'm just catching up. I think that's really helpful.
No, and
To have like an end. So I don't know, it's not really a requirement of any grant, but
it's not surprisingly, yeah, but like, it's good to do it for all the reasons you just said.
Yeah.
And also now that Chris is not there, I have less people to bounce, like, I used to go just be like, Kristen, what do you think of this? And now I'm gonna look to you guys to maybe give me some of that feedback.
That's good.
I don't know if we want to get into it, time's moving along fast, but maybe in coming months, back when we started our strategic reflection, we did sort of this download of potential projects and needs for the commission. I think I have it up. Where is it? And we've done some of these things now. So I thought maybe in December or January, let's go through this. We can check off some of the things that we've done. And then we can say, oh yeah, Emily, we've talked about a welcoming packet for new Live Well Kingston commissioners. That's really the next priority. So my thought is maybe we'll come back to this document, review what we've done, and then prioritize what we'd like to do next. And it could help us inform like an action plan for 2026.
Yeah. That could be a good one to try to do asynchronously. I could see that eating up,
Yeah.
quite a bit of time to tackle this live in
Sure.
person. But if we tried to do that
Yeah, okay, great.
async, that could be a good one.
I love that. Probably what I'll do is sort of like send it out to you, and then we can do some comments and yeah, okay, great.
Stack rank our top 5 priorities, whatever
Yeah,
that looks
that's a
like.
good way to
Yeah.
do it. Love it. I love it. Right. All right. So that's what brings me to Sam, your potential grants report. You want to talk about You worked on?
Yeah, we could briefly hit on this. I think personally, I realize like so many people in this room are so much better at a lot of things than I am, like building community connections and things like that. This like kind of spreadsheet and research work I don't know, just feels decent, but yeah, definitely open to feedback. So really thinking about like how do we unlock more money for Blue so we can serve more people, do more things, right? General structure here, we've got like what are active open grants that might be or might not be applicable to Kingston. Some that are, if you scroll down just a hair, possible opportunities for the future. So I did a lot of this research in mid-October when the federal government was, on hiatus. So a lot of things were a status of, I think, forecasted is the technical term for it. Yeah. So some of those were forecasted. Some are state grants that might be recurring. And then the last bucket here, I think, is important to track too. Is what's out there that's not a fit, so we don't spend cycles looking at the same webpage or whatever doing research.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Like that you're a canal away, right? Like, oh, that'd be awesome to get the green line. Turns out we're not in the corridor. Yeah. We could go through specifics or review this. I think overall, and we might already have some infrastructure for this, but the vision is to build this out, right? Add 3 opportunities between every meeting or so. And then thinking about as, kind of a tech-minded guy, right? How do we feed that? So I did a lot of this research with ChatGPT as an assist. So how do we maybe feed this back to ChatGPT or whatever to get smarter, more tailored recommendations too? So kind of AI in the loop there as well. Sounds fancier than it is. Still lots of just like clicking and reading, but that's the quick rundown. Emily, I don't know if you want to hit on like the specific 2 active opportunities. It sounds like you were able to, find out that people in the community were chasing some of these. So.
Well, yes and no. So,
Okay.
So the Cornell Corp Extension, the Farm Hub, a few different agencies have done some farm to school work in our community over the last few years. Unfortunately, Cornell Corp Extension doesn't qualify for this one.
Okay.
But it doesn't feel like a good fit for the city of Kingston this year.
Right.
So I think we should keep it in mind for future years because so our Creating Healthy Schools and Communities grant is a great example of what we could do for something like this, where the city is the grantee and then sign the contracts with Cornell Corp Extension to facilitate because Cornell Corporation in Ulster County is the one that has the relationship with the school district, as Emily can probably speak to if you are interested. And so, Nanette knows who to talk to get the letter of support. I don't even know who that person is.
Right.
So
Love it. Cool.
Yeah.
So I think I was surprised. This was a federal grant, right? And it was like the one federal grant that wasn't forecasted or frozen, that somehow I think this is an annual recurring grant. So we could get a sense of like, what does this look like for this year and start to get our ducks in a row for December 2026. I guess we could shoot for.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. And so who owns, like, I guess, next steps on that? I'm happy to run with that. I don't know if I'd have like the right kind of information to build out a grant for Live Well, but
so if we recognized a grant that we want to apply for, we do have a really great grant student. So we would bring in Ruth Ann and Natalie. We would meet with them to see, and they have a form that I fill out if you're interested in the grant.
Okay.
Maybe you would help me fill out that form.
Sweet.
But no, you don't have to
Okay.
do the grant. We don't.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah,
Happy
does
to
that
help.
answer your question?
Awesome. Yeah. So this is more so an exercise in like hitting the top of the funnel,
Yeah,
and they'll help get us through that. Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
Got it. Sweet. So that's one, and then the other one was kind of interesting from the DEC around just like municipal waste reduction. They've actually got, these are again annual grants, one around hazardous waste and the other around just like education. I don't know if this lands like right necessarily in our wheelhouse, or if it might be like another adjacent city agency or something like that, so.
So again, back to the organics program you were talking about, Julie
Yeah.
Noble. I emailed her,
Sustainability.
she's already applied for
Already
it.
on it. Excellent, good,
I was like,
Yeah.
great, Julie's on it.
love it.
Yeah.
Cool, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wonder like, thinking about, we've rattled off like 8 different organizations here. How might we get more visibility into the other grant opportunities that other similar agencies are chasing? Because they might have the same thing where it's like, oh, this might not be applicable to us, but who knows, it could be
Yeah.
live well too. So I wonder if there's some inter-agency collaboration opportunities. Again, the new guy here throwing things out, but yeah, just one opportunity there.
What could be interesting also, yeah, that's a good point. One thing I was thinking of is like, if Julie is going after that particular grant, is there a way to integrate some of Livewell's work into it? That maybe that's what you're kind of saying as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I know that, so sometimes I think, so sometimes there might be an agency that's going after a grant that has focused on its agency.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that works internally, whether that's
Interesting.
but.
I mean,
just a thought.
yeah, Julie, I mean, I'll just say this, Julie and I work great together, we overlapped in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't even occur to me. That's really interesting. I don't know what it would be for this one. I'll have to think about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But I'll think about it.
Is there an internal way that you could identify grants that are like that other agents, other departments are going after? Just so that like if there is an opportunity to fund parts of the well, that's incorporated into that, whoever's running that grant.
Yeah.
is thinking. Maybe that's the grant department that would be best to work. I don't know.
I think the way to do that is to tell the grants department to think of me.
Yeah.
Put the picture in there.
It might be, because that's another thing, to that point, like could we identify the 5 or 3 or 4 like major things that should be funded
Right.
under Livewell, send that to the grants department, and then the grants department can be kind of looking out for you. I don't know if they have the capacity to do that, but it's a thought.
Yeah, and I think that, to give the credit, I think they do. I think that they, I work really well with them too as well. But there, to your point, there's no formal system at all. No. There is a formal grant reporting system, so the grants department does this wonderful, I think it's quarterly grant report to the common council. It's very in depth. It shows all of the grants we've applied to, all the status of all of them. But I think identifying what would be, because they don't even, I think, know everything that Livewell does, would be some of the communications work a little bit, like also making sure Ruth Ann and Natalie are on the next side. At this moment, I don't know, I can't recall if they are or not, you know what I mean? If they're not, that's a missed opportunity.
So there's no formal mechanism where the grants department asks for your funding priorities. Like,
the only time that happens, so every year the state does a consolidated funding application. And a few of the different project managers and department heads get into a meeting and we say, what are we gonna apply for this year? And it's almost the opposite of fighting over grants. It's almost like, not me, because it's so much work to do these applications. But we do have, that's pretty much the only meeting like that at the city that sort of looks at it that way. Yeah.
And it's super helpful if you guys join other boards and committees in the city, and when they're talking about things that touch our work, you can be like, oh hey, we're going.
Sure.
yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah. It's like that aggregation minor.
Yeah, it's always hard in any organization, any institution. Thank you.
Yeah, so, my pleasure. Expect kind of more of this. I'll keep, and if anybody wants to collaborate on that too, happy to, share the GPT folder I've got, and we can,
I don't even know what a GPT folder is. I don't know what that means.
create like specific projects, but
Cool, thank you.
no problem.
Along with that is a good update. So Novo had told us that they were stepping down our funding. But I thought that was starting next year. It turns out it's not. So we're going to be fully funded for 2025 at 150,000, not 125. I'll take that extra 25,000, yes, thank you. And then, but they are still planning to step us down in future years, but, so that means 3 more years of guaranteed funding, which is, I think, what we need to really prove that Livewell's worth the city funding through local taxes if need be. It was in my budget meeting on Monday, as I mentioned, where I brought that flyer. And part of the way that I think that I'm able to get through that meeting pretty easily is that I say, my department is almost completely fully grant funded. And I say, okay, thank you for your work. So as that line changes in the future, and I'm not able to say that as much of it is funded by grants, I think we're gonna be looking at my budget even closer.
An outcome.
Yeah,
You mean
exactly.
2026, right? It says, and I think you said.
Oh, yes. What year is it? Yes, I think it's good, 2026. Thank you.
We have 150 in 2025 and 125 in
Wait.
2026.
Yeah,
That's
right.
what-
So we're gonna get 150 for next year, which is 2026. Yes, then it'll be 125.
2027.
Next year, it's okay, 2027, we got
Yeah,
125.
yeah,
yeah.
Got it. We're getting it, 2026, it's so.
I can't.
Seems so futuristic. It's like next year.
I think so at this point.
So that's most of our agenda. Before I give them an opportunity for announcements and communications, I wanted to bring up a little bit about next month's meeting. So, usually we've done in the past for the December meeting, we've done a sort of a potluck. I usually bring a veggie tray. If y'all are interested in that, I'm a big believer in potlucks that you can buy something and bring it. You don't have to make anything. So sort of like a yay or nay. Are you guys interested in that next month? Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
What's the date?
I think it's the 17th.
No,
Yeah. That was a no, Anthony?
no, I'll be here.
And you're gonna be happy too.
The climate smart meeting that was supposed to take place after this was, like, oh, no, we'll meet in December, but that's, I think, pretty sure that the 17th is that day, so. I'll be here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, lovely. So it's a chance for us to be a little bit less formal, even though we're not that formal, but it's a nice gathering. It's a little bit more relaxed. Before we do that, my thought is, usually in January, we vote for the chairs. We can wait for January, we can do it in December, it's sort of up to you. That was the only thought I thought that we might want to do in December. Wanna wait and decide chairs in January? Any thoughts? We talked a little bit about, yeah.
Go ahead. These are the chairs of.
Like our service positions in the commission.
Oh, our roles, right? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, got it. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
we want to make sure that every commissioner has a role. Yeah. We need to vote on that.
I think we should do a vote on it, but it's an informal conversation. Why don't we in December, maybe my ask of you all is to have thought about it. And we'll have an informal, not be live streaming conversation about those roles. And then in January, we'll hopefully, we'll have like a slate of officers. And we'll sort of have an idea of who wants to do what, and we'll do like the formal vote and all that stuff. So we'll turn off the screen and we'll just have a conversation about it in December. Sounds great.
Great, sounds good.
All right. Now on the agenda is a chance, does anyone have any, announcements or communications that they would like to share? This can be job opportunities, this could be an event that's happening at an organization, this could just be a personal thing. Anything they would like to share?
I'm gonna go to the Healthy Ulster Council meeting tomorrow.
Cool.
So they say they have the better data to share than the data from the Mid-Hudson regional thing. So if there's time, I can share that next meeting.
Sure, that would be great.
What is that organization called? Healthy Ulster County Alliance?
No, it's called Healthy Ulster Council.
When
When I try to write, I write Healthy Ulster County. It's just
It's an initiative of the Ulster County Department of Health.
Okay,
Kristen is in fact.
Kristen Kessler.
And maybe Cornell, actually, right, the two.
The county, some of
And then
them
the-
had to pass this.
And then, whatever, I think our sharing it together, or, I don't know, so going to.
Okay.
And now that Kristen is in her new position, she is the second one on the agenda and she'll be presenting about her new role and all those things. I think I have to step up for the second half of the meeting. So if you're able to close with it,
I should,
report back to us.
I should go to Canal me. I have an education day, which I didn't realize. But an education day means I'm supposed to do my continuing medical education. Which, then I told Brooke that I agreed to go to this meeting, so I'll be.
Really?
Just be educated in the morning and then I'll go. Because I think it's an hour and a half. One of my residents is coming too.
Fabulous.
He's in Ulster County, born and raised, and gonna practice here, so he's got interest in Ulster County.
Oh, we need those. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great to hear. Anything from any of your other committees, Anthony? Anything you want to share?
Not really.
Okay.
I know that every month in Climate Smart we have the food systems thing on the agenda, and every month I'm like, oh, doing so.
Soon we'll have a much better, we'll say done. Yes, very soon.
And you read an email about that there's the, can review the food systems plan that's happening soon, right?
Yeah, December 3rd, 6 p.m.
And that's
in
here.
Chambers. Kristen will be coming back and talking about it, and the consultant, Angela, will be coming back to talk about it. We're providing child care in this room. My daughter is going to be here doing, she's got voluntold to do some things. It's not babysitting, it's just child entertainment. And then we'll have healthy food in the other conference room. And Spanish interpretation as well.
Wow, awesome.
That's great.
So just a little thing, in a volunteer capacity, I'm part of a group of parents, at the Kingston City School District working toward green initiatives. And we're having a holiday toy and winter gear swap at the Good Work Institute on Saturday, December 6th from 11 to 1. So if you need to unload anything or if you need anything for holidays for little ones, come on back.
Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, you guys are so cool. I mean,
Anytime Marie Miller, you said that, we need the pep talk.
so I tell her all the time.
Oh, good.
Yeah, this was shared in a Mid Hudson, WhatsApp group.
Oh,
It's the
goody.
Mid Hudson Parents Group was shared, so it's gotten, that's like 200 people on it. So
Very cool.
I didn't know you were involved. It's very cool, yeah.
Yeah, we're a small but mighty crew, the Kingston Green Team.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of this, when does, I've never gotten our newsletter, how often does it come out?
Well, it was going out more often previously. I'm supposed to send one out this month with our mission vision. So I'll double check to make sure you're on it, and hopefully I'll get one out by the end of this month.
All right, I was just curious if I was.
Yeah.
I didn't.
It's not that regular.
Okay,
So it's, it's possible you're on there and it's just been a while.
okay.
It's like every other month. It's not what we've been doing in the past.
Okay.
All right. If there's nothing else, we can say goodbye for this evening. Thank you, Nettie. If you're still there, we can say goodbye to you. She's probably still
I'm
talking.
here and thank you.
Yay. All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.